Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts. You won't believe what we're diving into today, an amazing discovery that has left collectors and experts stunned. In this video, we're talking about the rare 1980 Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, 1 cent could change your life forever. Cut to close-up shots of the 1980 Lincoln penny. We're going to dive deep into the story behind this incredible coin, the mystery of its worth, and how you might just have one of these in your pocket right now. Cut to a historical visual of various Lincoln pennies over the decades. The Lincoln penny, a staple of American currency for more than a century. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate President Abraham Lincoln's centennial birth, the Lincoln penny has evolved in design and composition over the years. Most of us are familiar with the standard version, but did you know that some years produced unique variants that can be worth far more than face value? And while many of us think of pennies as pocket change, there are some rare coins out there that can fetch millions. Today, we're going to focus on one coin in particular, the 1980 Lincoln penny. Cut to a close-up of a 1980 Lincoln penny. Now, let's talk specifics. The 1980 Lincoln penny is, for most people, just another regular coin from the 80s, but for coin collectors, it holds the key to a very special mystery. Most 1980 pennies were struck using standard dies and looked pretty much the same as the familiar Union Shield design on the reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. Cut to visuals of the reverse side of a normal 1980 Lincoln penny. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1980, there were some pennies that didn't quite match the rest. You see, some of the pennies were struck on wrong plan case of the metal discs used to make coins. And in this case, some of the 1980 pennies were struck using a copper plan kit, rather than the standard copper-plated zinc plan kit. Cut to a side-by-side comparison of a regular 1980 penny and a copper 1980 penny. Here's where the real magic happens. A regular 1980 Lincoln penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. But a copper version A like this one is made entirely of copper, and it's incredibly rare. Zoom in on the copper penny, highlighting the slight differences in color. Due to a mix-up during production, only a few of these copper pennies made it into circulation, and these are the ones that can be worth a small fortune. Now, you might be wondering, how valuable are they exactly? Cut to images of a 1980 copper penny being auctioned. In 2018, a rare 1980 copper penny, graded in nearly perfect condition, was sold at an auction for an unbelievable $1.4 million. Let that sink in. 1 cent, $1.4 million. It was an incredible moment in numismatic history. Cut to footage of auction house, with bidders raising paddles. But how did it get to be worth that much? Well, the rarity and condition of the coin play a huge role. You see, these copper pennies are incredibly difficult to find, and they're so rare that they're often considered one of the most valuable errors in U.S. coinage history. Cut to close-up of a graded coin certificate showing MS-67. Coins like this are graded by companies like PCGS or NGC, which assess the quality of the coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For the 1980 copper penny, only a handful of them have been graded in mint state A, and the higher the grade, the higher the value. This particular penny, with a grade of MS-67, was considered nearly perfect, making it an absolute gem for collectors. Cut to host holding a magnifying glass and examining a coin. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare copper pennies in my collection? Well, it's not as easy as just looking at the date. The first thing to look for is the weight. A regular 1980 penny weighs 2.5 grams, while a copper 1980 penny weighs 3.11 grams, a noticeable difference. Cut to scale showing the weight of a regular penny and a copper penny. To check the weight, you can simply use a scale that measures in grams. If your penny weighs more than 2.5 grams, it could be the rare copper version. Next, you can look for the color. Copper pennies have a darker, reddish-brown hue, whereas the zinc pennies are lighter and more yellowish. This difference in color is often noticeable to the trained eye. Cut to a visual of the penny under a bright light. Lastly, you can check the sound of the penny when it's dropped. Copper pennies produce a sharper, more metallic sound compared to the hollow thud of a zinc penny. If you've got a good ear, you might just be able to tell the difference. Cut to the host holding a small, secure coin case. If you think you've found a 1980 copper penny, don't just put it back into circulation. Keep it safe and get it professionally graded. Getting it certified by a reputable grading company can increase its value significantly. If you're lucky enough to have one in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a life-changing piece of history. Cut to a table with different rare pennies laid out. Now, while the 1980 copper penny is the star of today's video, it's not the only rare penny out there. Other pennies like the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, and the 1969 double die are also worth serious money, and there's a whole world of rare coins waiting to be discovered. Cut to visuals of these other rare coins. Make sure to keep an eye on your pocket change, as you never know when you might find a gem like these. Cut back to the host. So, what do you think? Could you have a $1.4 million penny hiding in your collection? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, it's always worth taking a closer look at your coins. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest coin hunting adventures. Until next time, happy collecting. Music fades out, screen fades to black with the channel logo. And, welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we have a jaw-dropping story to share that could change your view on the value of a simple penny. We're talking about a 1968 Lincoln penny that's worth an incredible $1.5 million. That's right. 1 cent could make you a millionaire. Cut to a close-up of a 1968 Lincoln penny. Stay with us because in this video, we'll uncover why this 1968 penny is so valuable, how to identify one, and how it could be hiding right in your pocket right now. Cut to visuals of Lincoln pennies through the years, showing different designs and various coin mints. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of American currency since its introduction in 1909. Celebrating the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, we've seen many different versions of this penny, from the original wheat design to the modern shield on the reverse side. But there are certain years where special things happened. Coins were minted with errors, rare designs, or just unique circumstances that have made them more valuable than you could ever imagine. Cut to close-up of the 1968 penny. And today, we're focusing on one of those years, a 1968, a year that might seem ordinary at first, but there's a very rare error that made the 1968 Lincoln penny worth millions to the right collector. Cut to a close-up shot of the 1968 Lincoln penny. At first glance, a 1968 Lincoln penny doesn't look all that different from the others. The familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the simple reverse design. But here's where things get interesting. In 1968, there was an unusual mix-up at the U.S. Mint, and a rare error was created that would make certain pennies from this year incredibly valuable. Most 1968 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc. But here's the problem. Some pennies from that year were accidentally struck on copper plan case, the metal discs used to make coins, which were intended for other denominations, like the half-dollar. Cut to visuals of a regular 1968 penny alongside a copper plankett. The copper plankett error means that these particular 1968 pennies were minted with a full copper composition instead of the regular zinc-copper alloy. Most pennies after 1982 are made of copper-plated zinc, but the 1968 pennies were supposed to be copper-plated steel. However, a small number of these pennies were mistakenly struck on the wrong type of plankett, a pure copper. This mistake is extremely rare. So, why is this significant? Well, the key difference lies in the material. A regular 1968 penny weighs only 2.5 grams, while the copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. That might seem like a small difference, but in the world of rare coins, it's huge. Because these coins are made of pure copper, They're highly sought after by collectors. Cut to visuals of the 1968 copper penny in a magnifying glass to show the details. These copper planchet pennies are incredibly rare. It's estimated that fewer than 20 of these era coins were ever produced, and since they weren't properly recorded at the time of minting, they went unnoticed by most people for decades. So, while you might find hundreds of 1968 pennies in circulation, finding one of these rare copper pennies is like finding a needle in a haystack. And, as you might expect, rarity is one of the key factors that make this coin worth a staggering $1.5 million. Cut to footage of an auction with the coin being sold. In recent years, one of these rare 1968 copper pennies, in pristine condition, was sold at auction for an eye-popping $1.5 million. That's right, a single penny, worth just 1 cent when it was first minted, became worth millions because of its extreme rarity and historical significance. Now, you may be asking yourself, how did this penny go from being a regular coin to being worth $1.5 million? The answer lies in the world of numismatics, the study of coins and currency. The more rare, the more valuable, especially when it's an error that couldn't be replicated. Cut to the host holding a magnifying glass and a 1968 penny, inspecting it carefully. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a rare 1968 copper penny in your own collection. The first thing to look for is the weight. A regular 1968 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but if you have a copper planchet penny, it will weigh closer to 3.11 grams. This weight difference is crucial when identifying the coin. Cut to visuals of a digital scale weighing the pennies. You can use a simple digital scale that measures in grams to check the weight of your 1968 penny. If it's heavier than the typical penny, you could have a rare copper version. Next, you'll want to inspect the color. Copper pennies are a reddish-brown color, whereas the regular 1968 pennies are a lighter, copper-plated zinc hue. If the penny you have has a darker, more reddish-brown appearance, it could be the rare copper version. Cut to visuals of professional coin grading services, with coins being examined by experts. If you think you've found a 1968 copper penny, the next step is to get it professionally graded. A reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can assess the condition of the coin, which directly affects its value. The better the condition, the higher the value. Cut to close-up of a graded coin with a certificate of authenticity. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A coin that is well preserved and free from damage is going to fetch a significantly higher price than a damaged or heavily worn one. For example, the 1968 copper penny sold for $1.5 million was graded as a MS68, which is an excellent grade. So, if you think you have one of these rare pennies, make sure to protect it properly and get it graded by a professional. And if you're planning to sell it, consider going through an auction house or a trusted dealer who specializes in rare coin. Cut to visuals of different 1968 penny variations, including the regular copper-plated zinc version. While the 1968 copper penny is definitely the most valuable, there are also other variations and errors in the 1968 penny series worth noting. For example, there are some 1968 pennies that feature die errors or have unusual mint marks that can add value. However, none of these other variations come close to the value of the copper planchet error, but they're still worth looking out for in your collection. Cut back to the host in front of the table of coins. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 1968 Lincoln penny and how it became worth $1.5 million. It's a perfect example of how something as simple as a penny can become a rare and valuable treasure. Now, next time you're going through your change, keep an eye out for any 1968 pennies. You never know, and you could be holding onto a coin that's worth more than just a few cents. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest coin adventures. And if you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments below. Music fades out as the screen fades to black with the channel logo. And, hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel. If you're a collector or just someone who loves finding hidden gems, then this video is for you. Today, We're talking about the 2006 Lincoln penny A and how one of them just sold for an incredible $1.1 million. That's right, folks. A penny that you probably have in your pocket could be worth a fortune. Let's dive into why this specific penny is so valuable. Cut to a close-up of a 2006 Lincoln penny resting on a table. Stick around, because in this video, we'll uncover the fascinating story behind the 2006 Lincoln penny and how an error made this coin a $1 million treasure. Cut to a montage of Lincoln pennies over the years, showcasing different designs and mint marks. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1909, originally to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the years, the design has changed, but the coin has always remained iconic. From the wheat design to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and eventually, the Union Shield, this little coin has seen it all. Though most people just toss pennies into their change jar or discard them without a second thought, some years of the Lincoln penny are incredibly valuable, especially when they have rare errors or special features. Cut to close-up of the 2006 Lincoln penny. Today, we're focusing on one specific year, a 2006, a year that doesn't seem all that special at first, but trust me, there's a reason why some of these pennies are worth millions. Cut to the host holding a 2006 Lincoln penny in their hand. At first glance, the 2006 Lincoln penny looks like just another ordinary penny. The obverse features Lincoln's portrait, and the reverse shows the familiar Union Shield design that was introduced in 2010. But in 2006, something unusual happened at the U.S. Mint that made certain 2006 pennies far from ordinary. The story behind the value of the 2006 penny begins with a very rare error that only affects a small number of these coins. It's called the A double die error, and it can make a penny worth a fortune. Cut to close-up visuals of a 2006 penny, showing the double die effect on the date and lettering. Now, you might be wondering, what's a double die error? A double die occurs when a coin is struck more than once with the same die, but with a slight misalignment during the second strike. This causes the image or text to appear doubled or blurry. In the case of the 2006 Lincoln penny, the error was most noticeable in the date and the word "A Liberty" on the coin. This is where things get interesting. These double die pennies are rare, and not every 2006 penny has this error. However, when you find one with the right kind of doubling A, especially if it's clear and distinct A, that's when things can get exciting. Cut to close-up shots of the doubling effect on the 2006 and Liberty text. Look closely at the date on a 2006 penny with a double die error, and you'll notice the numbers in a 2006 will be duplicated, with a slight shadow or overlap. The word "A Liberty" might also show a similar effect. It's a subtle, but important detail for collectors. Cut to footage of an auction with a coin being sold. So, how did a 2006 penny with a double die error end up being worth $1.1 million? Well, in 2021, one of these rare pennies, in pristine condition, was sold at auction for this astounding price. This particular penny was graded as a MS69, which is an almost perfect condition. Now, when it comes to coin values, the condition is everything. A coin's grade is determined by how well it's preserved. An MS69 grade means that the penny is nearly flawless, with only very slight imperfections, which makes it even more valuable to collectors. And the reason this 2006 double die penny was so valuable wasn't just because it was rare, but also because it had that perfect combination of error and condition that collectors dream of. To put it simply, this coin is a once-in-a-lifetime find. Cut to the host examining a 2006 penny under a magnifying glass. Now that you know how rare and valuable these 2006 double die pennies can be, you're probably wondering, hey, how do I find one of those coins? It's actually easier than you might think, but it takes a little patience and a keen eye for detail. The first thing you'll want to do is examine the date and the word "A Liberty" on the obverse of the coin. The double die error causes the text to appear doubled, so if you notice a shadow or a second image of the numbers or letters, you may have found one of these rare coins. Cut to close-up shots of a regular 2006 penny and a double die penny for comparison. Look at the date very closely at the numbers A2, A0, A0, and A6 will appear blurry or duplicated. You might also see some extra detail in the word A Liberty, particularly the AL, AI, and AR. Keep in mind that this doubling should be obvious to the naked eye. If you need a magnifying glass, don't hesitate to grab one. Cut to visuals of a professional coin grading service, showing a coin being evaluated. If you think you found a 2006 double-die penny, the next step is to get it professionally graded. Coin grading is important because it determines the condition of the coin, which directly impacts its value. A penny in excellent condition can be worth thousands, while a coin in poor condition might not be worth much. Reputable grading companies like PCGS and NGC are the industry standards. They'll evaluate the coin and assign it a grade, which will help you determine its market value. The higher the grade, the more your coin could be worth. Cut to close-up of a graded coin inside a protective case. Once graded, you can keep your coin in a protective case to ensure its condition doesn't deteriorate. And if you're planning to sell it, the best route is through a trusted auction house or dealer who specializes in rare coins. That way, you'll get the best possible price for your find. Cut to visuals of different 2006 penny variations, including the regular, proof, and error coins. While the double-die 2006 penny is the real star of today's video, there are other variations of the 2006 penny that can be valuable as well. For example, some collectors also search for the 2006 penny with minor errors, such as die cracks or misprints. Although these other errors don't reach the same level of value as the double-die coin, they can still fetch a pretty penny if they're in good condition. Cut back to the host in front of the table of coins. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2006 Lincoln penny and how it became worth $1.1 million. It's proof that even the most common coins can become rare treasures in the world of numismatics. Now, the next time you're flipping through a jar of pennies, take a moment to check the dates and examine them closely. Who knows, you might be holding onto a future millionaire maker. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our coin hunting adventures. And if you've ever found a rare coin, share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Music fades out as the screen fades to black with the channel logo. And welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector or just someone who's interested in rare finds, then you're in for a treat today. In this video, we're talking about a 1979 Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.3 million. That's right, just a single penny with the right mix of luck, rarity, and history could change your life forever. Cut to a close-up of a 1979 Lincoln penny on a table. Stick around, because we're going to uncover why the 1979 Lincoln penny has become such a rare and valuable treasure, and how you might just have one hiding in your pocket right now. Cut to a montage of Lincoln pennies through the years, showing different designs and notable years. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, has been a key part of American currency for over a century. While most people are familiar with the simple design featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, some years produced more rare and unusual versions of the penny that collectors can't get enough of. The Lincoln penny is often seen as just a penny, something you toss into a jar or forget about, but there are some rare variations that can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Today, we're going to talk about one of those special years, 1979. Cut to close-up of a 1979 Lincoln penny with a clear view of the obverse and reverse. So, what makes the 1979 Lincoln penny so special? On the surface, the 1979 penny looks pretty standard copper, with Lincoln's image in the year 1979 stamped on it. It's a coin you might easily overlook. However, there's something about the 1979 penny that caught the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. The reason? It's all about a rare error that was made during production, which has made these pennies incredibly valuable. Cut to a close-up shot the date on the coin. What many don't know is that during 1979, a small percentage of pennies were struck with a unique error that turned them into a rare find. So, what's the story behind this error, And why did it make this coin so special? Cut to a visual comparison of a regular 1979 penny and a double die error penny. The error we're talking about is called a double die. A double die occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, but slightly misaligned during the second strike. This misalignment causes the image or text to appear a doubled, creating a noticeable doubling effect. It's especially visible in the date and the word "A Liberty" on these coins. Now, here's the kicker. The 1979 double die penny was a limited error, and not every 1979 penny has it. It was a result of a mistake during the minting process, and while double die errors have occurred in several years, the 1979 version became one of the most desirable for collectors due to its rarity and the visual impact of the error. Cut to close-up of the doubling on the 1979 date and Liberty text. Look closely at a 1979 double die penny, and you'll notice the doubling, particularly in the year 1979 and the word "A Liberty." On these coins, the doubling is often dramatic and easy to spot, making it one of the most recognized and valuable error coins in circulation. Cut to auction footage, with the coin being auctioned off. In 2019, a 1979 double die penny in perfect condition was auctioned for a staggering $1.3 million. This specific coin, graded as MS-68, was one of the finest examples of the error, and its sale was a huge moment for coin collectors everywhere. Cut to visuals of the penny being graded and certified. Coin grading is a huge part of how these rarities are valued. For example, a coin graded MS-68 means it's in near-perfect condition with very few visible imperfections. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. And this particular 1979 penny A, with its unique double die error and its pristine condition A, became one of the most sought-after pieces in the numismatic world. So, how exactly do you get a coin like this? The short answer is luck. But the longer answer involves looking for a specific error, getting it graded, and then possibly having it end up at the right auction house. Cut to the host holding a magnifying GL.